Hello everybody, welcome to Madness and Lands Season 2, War and Discovery. It is time for the first episode of the second season. We have a slightly changed around cast, we have got some new characters, got some exciting things here. So I'm going to forego a lot of the character introductions, because we're kind of going to introduce a lot of new characters in the stream here as we go for the adventures. I felt like, because it's a new season, I should kind of summarize what happened last season. So, last season, we came into a war that humanity and its allies were losing against a dread army, consisting mostly of goblinoids and a couple of remnants of other various races that had been conquered by them and murdering everything that they wanted. As the last bastion of humanity, they were about to be destroyed when a giant eye opened up in the sky and basically ate them. Ate everything. And then our intrepid heroes in the castles they found themselves on basically in a new world. Completely different world. Place that they had never been to before. They were lost, but where the hell are we? So, our team, Nokren and company, were set upon the task of, hey, go find out if there's anybody that'll be, like, friends with us instead of trying to murder us, because everywhere we go, people want to murder us. I mean...
That went so well.
Well, you discover that there's a forest of Fae, led by a elder treant, who's friendly with you. Who would be, if you're talking, like, stats-wise, he's equivalent, he's, like, spellcasting equivalent to, like, a very high-level druid. And he's a treant, so, I mean...
Friendly. It's like, friendly. Yeah, we'll tolerate you, we won't help you, though.
Yeah, we'll tolerate you. Found the ruins of a Tabaxi village, which apparently bad things happened at. Discovered that the savage race which lives here and is constantly trying to murder them, kind of found out that they have these kind of camps to the north that may or may not be war camps. And then, of course, eventually explored the old city, which they discovered was the origins of the savage ones, the Kalada, where they were once this race called the Kaladites, who left their city when some kind of bad things happened there, and kind of degenerated while living in the valley. Also, you found out most likely your cats landed on top of their burial mounds, so...
And that's why they want to go to war with us.
Yeah.
Whoopsies!
Yeah, whoopsies. It's like not even like we just crushed the burial mounds, we just like atomized them. They just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, you replaced them with horrible dimensional magic that probably doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, it's like not even atomized. It's just like it was dumped out into the space in between dimensions and left to, like, you know, go. It's
not our fault.
No,
it's not. But they're not going to understand that. We can't talk to them.
Working on it.
They also seem to like any excuse to try to murder you, but you know.
Yeah, the last time we tried to talk to them, we had to murder a small wizard and then run.
Not murder.
He got one spell off and then just went splat.
Yep. Anyway.
Self-defense. Manslaughter at best.
So, coming into this season, we have our remaining team of last year, or last season, I should say, coming in now weeks and weeks after they had left on this current adventure, of Nokren, Tim, Red, Rufus, and Grits coming back. As they enter into the castle, a messenger from the Duke quickly comes to them, and the Duke summons them to his side, of course, as he's done many times. And it's once again as they face the Duke, he seems more haunted than you normally have seen him, like as things have been going on. He kind of just skips the formalities and dives right into it, kind of listening to your tale, finding out what was going on, and as you finish, he then addresses you. It's good you've been able to scout out the area around the castle and the nearby areas. Though you've not found any allies, the materials you have gathered are of great help to understand the world we are in. And at least we know some of the dangers that face us. It seems that the wilderness here is easy fate for one to become one with it if you should wander off and become alone. It is a savage and wild place, and perhaps understandable that those that would live in amongst it will become savage and wild. Though you've done so far, I'm afraid I must push you on. We've been doing our best to survive here, but things are not as calm as they seem. The new enemy tests our defenses on a daily basis, and supplies continue to dwindle, even with the renewed effort to gain things from the surrounding land. We continue to do our best, but the need for your success grows ever important. You perhaps will need some rest. It seems as though that whatever war you were fearing is not happening as of late. Scouts say that they are building battlements around the area that you last were in, where those camps were. It seems they're planning something on the long battlefront, meaning we have more time, fortunately. But this means I must push you. All of you rest up. A few days, perhaps a week. Take your time, and then return to me. We can discuss your next move. At this point in time, Grits will actually excuse herself, and she will say to the Duke, she has some tasks to deal with the Dwarven Thane. That it's very important, and perhaps she might not be able to rejoin the team again for some time. He's like, this is, fine. Tim makes, of course, the suggestion that his abilities and his age are making it more difficult for him to travel. He would like to stay back around with his new daughter, and perhaps to assist Mercedes with some of his research and stuff, and learning about this place. Traditionally,
Red,
Tim
go
really,
with Tim.
Yeah, Red is suggested by Orn. Yeah, I know, it really is assist in quotations. Assist. Red is given a position with the help of Orm and Tim, because Red wants to stay home. Because he was starting the fighting arena. Congratulations, Red, you're in charge of training new recruits.
Oh no, poor recruit.
The cult of Tim begins.
They need to be battle hardened, and he is the best one to do that.
That's true. That's very true.
Leaving poor Nokren and Rufus alone, almost at this point in time. The Duke looks a little worried and says, "This is perhaps not enough to explore with. I'll see that perhaps Orin can look around and if there are some others that may be able to assist you, and you can send them your way, Nokren. You can see if they would be useful to you. Let me know once you return here, in a week's time.
Will do.
There's some other materials that I wish to give you, but it can wait until then. So.
Okay.
I'm guessing you're going to do what you do best and head to the bar.
Yes. If we're talking immediately after that ordeal we had in the end of the last season, yes, very much. Drinking needs to be had.
So Nokren and Rufus drink the evening away, and it leads into relaxation for a while now. Tim settles into his effectively new role, kind of actually resuming an actual rivalry with Mercedes almost in a way. On the surface, the both of them are doing the same research, but now it's almost the two of them are pushing each other because they're working like almost side by side.
It's parallel. It's paralleled research,
It's
meaning
parallel
that
research, yes.
whoever gets there first gets the pride.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Both of you end up discovering, slightly different things, but it does help push things.
Yeah.
Ritz is settling into a new role, and lets you know, Nokren, once you've talked to the Duke, to come to her and Thane, as there is some material that they have to talk to you about afterwards.
Okay.
Of course, you don't really see a lot. Red and Orin are in the positions they're in, and something happens though strange. You lose track of Rufus about halfway through the week, and you don't know what happened to him. No one can seem to find him, not easily. And it seems like all his stuff is gone. So he wandered off somewhere. You're not sure where.
Okay.
The only thing you actually managed
Look
to
for the
find-
sheep.
Yeah, the only thing you actually managed to find eventually is a small note that says, "I will return."
Okay then.
Now, Nokren, since you have a little time here, you do notice a few things going on around the bar. A little changes.
Go on.
Cassidy, the merchant that had been spending a lot of time in the bar drinking with you and Sebastian and the half-orc, he's not there as much anymore. He opened a shop in town. The brother of the church opened a shop in town. So there's 2 new shops. Jen is also acting a little strangely. She's dressing a little more prudent, and she's not going out to the big drinking parties with anybody anymore, or like having as big celebrations. She still like maybe hosts them to begin with, but doesn't stick around as much. Kind of like starts everything out rather than, being part of the party, but she kind of was. She still has them to keep up morale, but it's not the same. You also notice that Sebastian's withdrawn too. He doesn't talk to you really anymore. He keeps more to himself. He doesn't stand around the bar as much as he used to either.
Okay. That is interesting. Okay.
Of course, towards the end of the week, you discover another Dragonborn. A Dragonborn man comes into the bar as you're sitting there relaxing one of the days. Like, you know that your adventure's about to continue again. He introduced himself as a man who's... He just calls himself Black Scale. You can notice that he's got, like, unique, like, scarring, you would call it, that seems to be in parts of his, like, arm and things, where it looks like maybe it was burned, and his scale colors changed to black, and never quite recovered.
Okay. Well, the second Nokren realizes he's going to get a bit... hi? Nokren. I'm trying to... I did that little low. So he sticks out his hand.
Hello.
I thought I was the last one here.
Fortunately for you, apparently you are not.
How many are there?
Just me and my family.
Oh. I mean, no, that's still... I'm glad I'm not alone. How... Whereabouts are you in the city?
We've been staying in the refugee area. We're in one of the cabins, at least. There was enough of us to skip a small area there. I've begun taking some work with the guard. I was a little trained. Seems like I can get a position soon. Maybe get my family out of here. Out of there.
Good. Is there anything I can do to help?
He's gonna put his arm on his shoulder and be like, no, but it does fill me with hope that there's at least one more of us in here. Maybe hidden amongst all of these people there's a few others. I have doubts, but...
I mean,
He kind of
if...
pats you on the shoulder. At least both of us are.
Yeah, if it's okay, I'd like to meet your family at some stage. I want to introduce myself. I've been doing jobs for the city. I've got a bit of time off now, but I haven't been usually out of the city. That's probably why we didn't run into each other.
Understandable. Perhaps tonight, or you kind of like look out the window. Later on today.
Yeah.
But you'll meet his family, his wife, his daughter, his son, and get to know them just a little bit that day, and almost gain a step towards maybe an adopted family. They see you as maybe like possible family too. A man who doesn't have a lot.
Yeah, especially with everyone just dispersing, he would definitely jump on that.
I mean, it's not much of a place that you kind of stayed at. It's like a cabin area where there are very loose walls separating out one rooms for families. It's not a lot of space. It's pretty stuffed, but it's probably not as bad as the tents, which are still out there, which they have been replacing, but at a very slow pace.
Yeah.
It's hard to get extra wood. Not impossible, but time-consuming.
And if they, I would be entirely open about, like, everything we've done, all the, like, I wouldn't hide anything from them as far as, like, if they asked what was going on outside the city. I also would tell them about Azael.
Yeah. They'll not, like, understand about Azael at all. You know,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they'll eat up your stories.
I'll basically just explain that he's the reason why I can do the things I can do.
So the dinner and evening will pass nicely.
I would, of course, make the stories PG for the kids.
Yes. And, the son's probably, like, I would say, equivalent human around, like, 10, 11. Daughter's probably around, like, 15, 16.
Oh, yeah, so for Dragonborn, that's actually
she's
fairly...
probably close to being considered an adult. But that's like...
She's only 2 years younger than me, I'm pretty sure.
But I was saying, like, human equivalent, which I think the ages are a little different for Dragonborn. Close to
they're faster, yeah.
Yeah, they're faster.
They're faster to mature, and then it evens out, which is why they're about 70 years, I think.
Close to being, it's like, a little bit off,
Yeah.
Give it a year, yes. Anyway. So.
Bad will.
You will be given some information, and of course over this time, you will be given some suggestions on some people to join. Oren will say he's got a couple of folks in mind for you, and plus, he basically says, if you let him do it, he can get a team together that can help you out.
I would definitely let him do it.
All right. So, the day
as much as Oren scares Nokren, he trusts him, mostly.
He's not wearing his leather anymore.
Good.
Someone else is. But anyway.
Oh, no.
So, the day to return to the Duke comes, and you come, and there are a number of folks in this room here. You will see, waiting for you, of course, is Oren with the Duke. There is a kind of three other people here. So I'll let each of them kind of describe them. How about Dorian? You're probably standing around Oren and the Duke right now. You're probably speaking with the two of them, kind of.
Yeah. So you would see across the room from you then a Tiefling, which you might not know necessarily what that is, but basically a very red-skinned human with horns.
Actually, it kind of reminds you of the form that Azael took for you, because he's fiendish in nature.
Yeah, I imagine it would.
Yes.
Don't forget your tail.
Probably more human.
Doesn't really have one.
Oh.
Have I seen tieflings before? Are there tieflings in the city?
Probably not. There are some. But kind of like Dragonborn, they're probably on the DL kind of thing, download, not many.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have seen one before.
Mm-hmm. No. And so he is, he's not an overly tall individual. I mean, to you, anything shorter than 6 feet is probably just, short. But he is exactly 6 feet tall. And he's, if you can tell, he looks a little bit young, but not too young. Older than you, certainly. Really, just a medium build. Seems pretty nondescript other than the red skin and the horns. And the horns aren't that intense either. They're just about, a couple inches long. Seem to be shooting back kind of towards his hairline, really, if he covered him up with a hood. Made his skin a little bit of a different color. You might think he's human.
Okay.
So, let's just grab the other folks then, but before we kind of introduce them. There's also a Lizardfolk there, kind of standing off to the one side of the room.
His name is Usak, and he is quite close to a Dragonborn, but doesn't have, like, the strong features of a Dragonborn. They're a little shorter, not as bulky, but light gray, dark brown, kind of mixed scales, and he's pretty much wearing a loincloth.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Nokren, you might not recognize him necessarily as a lizard folk, but you probably recognize that he is a reptilian race that is not Dragonborn. Okay?
Yeah, and on his back, though, he has a giant spike-looking thing that, if you would observe it closer, is actually the rib of a dragon.
Off to the other side of the room is a woman.
Yeah, it's a pretty tall, like 6'3". She has red hair. She's pretty tanned. You can't really see her face because she keeps a hood over her head. The only other thing you would notice is that there's a dragon that's draped across her shoulders. He does not look like a very friendly dragon, though.
We'll see how long that lasts.
The Duke will kind of be like, Nokren, thank you for joining. Where is Rufus?
He apparently had some other matters to attend to. You said they'll be back.
Orin, you'd
Yes.
given me a suggestion of the one in the dungeon. Shall we have them take him?
You know, that would be an interesting idea, to say the least. Nokren, why don't you go meet Klicky?
Let's finish the meeting first, and then you can retrieve them. Orin here has given me word that Dorian can be very trusted. An aid to him, if you would. And Dorian has vouched. Dorian and Orin have vouched for Usak, and they discovered and recruited Signe here to join you on your ventures. Signe was in one of the camp areas, not the ones you would expect. As he'll kind of smile for a second. But that's for her to discuss with the rest of you. Anyway.
Nokren, there is one rule that Dorian has.
Okay.
He's a friend of Red's. It's probably where Red got it, but he demands a hug from you.
Sounds good to me. Knocker would go off immediately and do a big hug.
Oh, good. Good. And he'll release and then stand back down, and you'll see him straighten his jerkin. And you'll see him, it might look a little familiar for some reason. But you might not be able to.
Leather, maybe.
Might have seen it before.
Oh, that's where it went.
Enough of the pleasantries for now. You can discuss yourselves and meet with yourselves and all that things later. Let's get down to business.
To defeat
The Huns.
As previously mentioned when I last left with you, Nokren, and for what these new folks would know, you and your previous group did well exploring the central part of the valley and letting us know most of it. We now know what is here. But there is an exit of this place, a bridge, and it is about time that we start exploring beyond it and finding out what is in the valley greater. Now, there are a few scouts who have been seemingly crazy enough to risk it, but no major groups have been organized to explore it. It's still very dangerous, and it seems like our enemies and their allies are more stationed in that area. Now that you've recovered yourself, it is time for you to find us allies, to find hope for us. But I need you to check in with Mercedes. He's found a few things, and Commander Monk. They will be able to provide you some more information. I believe also the father was looking for you, so you will have to talk to them. Now, there's one thing I want to get down to with you. You have done something fairly helpful for us that actually... It's not a true ally, but it still helped. The Guardian. The creature you sent.
Ah, yes.
It has done
Has it chosen a
well...
name?
No. But it has done well at assisting us. Even with the lack of communication with it, it still has added to guarding us, helping us, and since it is tireless at all times, it seems to have taken on a mission of protecting this place, and it has been helpful. Now, Mercedes has learned...
He said he needed a purpose, and we offered him one.
Mercedes has found some ways to repair him, at least to a degree, so we can maintain him in the battles to come, which is fortunate. And I wanted to give you a gift for this. Now, Nokren, since you are the one that receiving this, I will leave it up to you how you want to use this. There was an old house.
Okay.
There's a house in the old town, around where the bar is. It's yours. Now, if you want to split it with your old friends, that's fine. Or perhaps if you want to use it as a base of operations for any groups that you should send out, these or more, that is also fine. I will leave it for you to determine. There are some others in town that could help you fix it up. I would inquire with them. Right now, it is unfurnished except for a few scant beds upstairs in a few of the rooms.
Thank you. I'm sure it'll be a lot of help, whatever we decide.
I'll leave it to you, and if you want to include your new friends, then... Well, I think you can be friends. Now please, go. You have much work to do, much exploring to do.
You said something about a dungeon?
Klicky Clack. Isn't that his name? I know it's
Klicky Clack?
Klicky. He's in the basement cellar. He's eccentric, to say the least.
Okay.
Confusing.
Okay, well, let's go meet him.
So you lead your new team of fellows down to the dungeon.
Nokren doesn't know how to lead. This is weird.
Hitting people with his tail. Oh, sorry. Okay, alright.
I just imagine Nokren walking like one of the dinosaurs from the TV show Dinosaurs. Just, like... It's very like rigid movements.
He's wearing full plates, so probably.
Does he turn like RoboCop, where he's like upper body and then lower body?
Oh, good.
All right. So you'll head down to the dungeon, where a number of guards will meet you. One of them will kind of approach you and say, hello, yes, what can I do for you?
I believe we're here to see someone called Klicky.
Oh, what is this about for meeting him?
Apparently, we're to recruit him.
What?
The Duke has seen some use for him, so we're taking him with us.
All right. He's gonna kind of grab a key. He's gonna walk down, kind of knock on one of the doors. Klicky, there's some guests here for you.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Let me introduce you to Klicky, the Goblin Exile. Didn't know what to do with him. So we kept him here.
Yes, they're fancy as hotel. Look at this place. It's nice. It's so nice. Would you want a rat? And he's gonna hold out like this bloody, non-cooked, half-eaten rat. He's like, are you hungry?
Usoc takes it.
Ah, yes, it's yummy. They got lots of good food here. Yes.
You feed him. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand how he keeps catching them too. There shouldn't have been any many rats down here.
Well, I mean, we've already seen how many spiders there can be down here. It
There was a
doesn't
lot of
surprise me
spiders.
there's rats.
Spiders? There's spiders? Why didn't I get spiders? I want spiders.
They exterminated
Because
already.
someone set don't set them on fire. Someone flattened them with magic.
Ooh, magic. Ooh, what kind of magic? I like magic.
It was a spell that threw me through the room. It was not pleasant.
And when you say this, is it like a barred wall?
It's like a door with like a barred window and like
Okay.
where you can like
So-
slide something underneath and stuff too.
Okay, so he walks away, and I'll just describe him now that you kind of see a full picture of him. He's only about 3 foot 3 inches. He's very small. He has long, lanky arms, kind of almost disproportionate with the rest of his body, and he has very long fingers. All along his arms and his hands are burn marks, not just from fire, but looks like his skin was melted. One of his ears is completely melted down to like where it's just a nub, and the other one has been cut off at the tip. He wears goggles, but they're not like metal frames or anything. They look like they were made from like twigs and cords of leather. He carries 2 satchels on him at all times. Both of them are just a hodgepodge of different animals that look like he killed and just skinned and made them in a bag without tanning them or anything. And he has what looks like to be a large green marble around his neck on a cord. And he walks over to a table. When you look into the room, there's junk all in the sides of the room, just piled up. And a clear table with a couple instruments on it. And he goes over there and he starts just working on something. He's like, oh, magic. Let's see. Something I could throw people. What could it be? And he keeps pulling stuff out of one of his bags. Like a large amount of crap, just for no reason. Just seems like he's pulling out whole kits, 50-foot cord rope. He's just pulling out. And
see
he's
the
just starts
guard-
working.
Yeah, kind of as you're doing this, kind of go to unlock the door and be like, "Hey, wait a second, Klicky." As
Yes?
he kind of opens
Yes.
the door and it's not locked. Give it to me.
Well, I mean, it's so easy. You should make better locks, you know? And he'll hold out the key that he made.
Oh, God damn it. He's all yours. As he's gonna leave then.
What do you mean? I'm leaving? No, I don't want to leave. No, don't make me leave. This place
You
is
get
nice.
to come with us, Klicky.
Do you have rats? Beds? No death? I don't want death. Death is bad.
We try to avoid it.
Hasn't been death yet. Been close, but no death yet.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of deaths. I've seen a lot of death. I don't want to be dead.
Well, we're trying to stop as much death as we can.
While you're talking, you just see his eyes just look. He just looks to the corner, pulls out a different satchel, pulls out a small vial, and throws it. And you hear the screaming of a rat in a puff of flame.
As soon as you toss it and that happens, Usoc hisses and frills pop out of his neck that are a light neon green.
He'll leave, walks over, pulls up this rat. It's completely burnt. It's like charcoal almost. And he's like, oh, good food here. And he like starts chewing on it. And he goes, why would I want to leave? There's good food here. There's a bed. Well, I think there's a bed in here somewhere. Yes. You see him touch the marble on his chest. It lights up for a second. And as he's eating the rat.
I mean, we'll probably be running into better food.
There's better food?
Yes,
bigger
and I'm going to
beds.
show one of my hunter traps. Catch it in that.
Oh, and he pulls out his satchel, pulls this huge hunter trap out. I got one of those. Yes. I'm not very good at this, though. Not very good. It always hits me. It hits me, and you see him rub his ear. That's
Ooh. Ow.
Yeah, no, feel good. It don't feel good. I didn't die though. I didn't die. No.
Good. But anyway, we've been asked to recruit you for a job that. Did we actually get the job yet?
Yeah, cross the bridge.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, cross the bridge.
But
We're
you
going
have
to.
been told that Mercedes and Moloch know more that might be able to help you with that.
I don't know why my brain just like zoned out for a second.
You were also asked to
See the father
and
Yep.
the
See
Dwarven
McKenny, see the father,
Thane and the Dwarven Thane.
and the Dwarven Thane. That's right. So we're gonna talk to a bunch of people, and then we're gonna go exploring.
Cal! And he just starts screaming as he runs to the door and starts he just kind of keeps slamming it to make noise, and he's yelling, Cal!
You're not
I'm
my
gonna look to
problem
the-
anymore, Klicky.
I don't want to leave. Don't make me leave.
Look, Klicky, people will probably not kill you. You're fine.
I mean, we're pretty good at stopping the people doing the killing, so
You promise you won't let people kill me?
Klicky.
I won't let people kill you.
Oh, scaly human. Oh,
How about you come
Not
with
quite.
us, and I don't eat you now?
okay, that works. And he'll go back and just start putting all the stuff he pulled out of his bench back into the bag on his left side. You guys have a bag of holding, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
we
you
do.
I
guys
do.
can see that
Good point.
you can tell it's a bag of holding, but it's not like it wouldn't be like yours. It's not finely crafted. It's not like a pretty looking bag. This literally looks like I said, he skinned animals, and it's made of that.
Fair enough. And Nokren's gonna turn to Usak and just like, no eating. People, at least. No eating people.
How tall are you? I forgot.
I am 6'8".
Okay, he's 6'6", so he's slightly
Just
short.
slightly short. Okay. No eating people. Okay.
He's just gonna and have some saliva droop down.
when Klicky hears that, you just hear in the corner.
I'm gonna turn to Dorian, who is apparently instantly the only one that I can talk to after the hugging. So I was just is he? What I think I heard Lizardfolk was mentioned before when we were talking about other people that were here. Is that what he is?
Yeah, he is.
He's like similar but not the same. It's weird.
There are a few key differences. I mean, realistically,
It's so
you're actually I don't know if I'd call it weird, but I mean, you are different. I mean, much like I'm different from Signe.
Yeah. So I probably would have heard the name Tiefling before, but I probably don't know. I wouldn't actually know that. So what are you with the? And I'll point to my own horns and the.
Hey, I'm a tiefling then.
Oh. Okay. That's why he looks. Okay, got it.
Hey, yeah, but I mean, pretty much human. Not really, but
Close
You
enough.
just hear mumbling. You hear mumbling coming from Klicky, and you just hear him go, human with devil's blood. Humans with devil's blood.
Is there water in here?
That explains a lot. Okay.
I mean, there's probably something in Klicky's cell if you want to get that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's something. It might not be
Alright.
water.
Well, it has water and it counts as water. So
it's a bucket.
It's a bucket.
yeah.
Oh no.
Usak says, I invoke Venera, born in water, move and freeze at the will of the plotter. And the bucket contents are gonna fly at Klicky.
Klicky's gonna be focused on packing up his stuff. So.
Oh no.
It doesn't
What?
do any damage or anything, it just...
Nokren's just like, what are you doing?
Oh,
Really?
this isn't nice. You get sick from this. So you shouldn't get sick from this. And he touches his amulet, and the water just falls right off of him.
Oh.
Be glad I didn't freeze it on you.
Oh, you can freeze? Oh, that's weird. You scaly human. Freeze. Okay, got it.
Dorian's gonna turn to Signe and say, "It appears you and I are the most normal of the group."
Wouldn't count you as normal.
Well, you're a lovely, aren't you? I'm gonna turn back to Nokren. I take it back. You and I are the most normal of the group.
I want to look over now, remembering that she's there because she had the hood on. It was like, no. Are you a normal human, or like, are you?
She's
Like-
extra smooth.
What does that even mean?
Extra. Extra. He's Klicky's gonna touch his thing, and I'm gonna cast detect magic, and look at her.
I mean, she has like some magic things on her. There you go.
She's not. She's human. She's normal. She's what are you talking? It's extra.
Detect magic doesn't really detect like race. No.
Yeah.
No.
No,
But
yeah.
it would detect something actually.
Yes, it would.
What would it detect? Question mark.
A spell.
It would. It would detect a spell that has been cast over me.
Okay.
Oh.
Yep.
You don't have to tell me. Interesting. I wonder what it is. Will you tell me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The thing.
Oh, Klicky, don't worry about it. Just focus on the task at hand. Staying alive.
Yes, stay alive. He scan the room, pull out another one of those small vials that you saw him throw before, and just looks around the room. Stay alive. Yes. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, and I thought the last group was weird.
So, having
To be fair, you're all weird to me.
That's fair. Where did you come from?
Everyone else did. If you're asking in another way, an egg.
Oh no, I just meant I didn't think that. I thought we know that there are lizard people here. I'm not sure we knew where though.
I'm basically the last. But I say
okay.
basically because there are eggs that Orn is protecting.
Well, that's good. Out of character, this has confused the fuck out of Nokren because we learnt that there are lizard people on this plane somewhere. But that's all, so he's like, oh, okay, never mind. That's not true then. There's not lizard people here.
He doesn't know if there are or not.
Yeah, no, it's great because the way that you've worded it has just like derailed that chain of thought for him.
Alright, so having assembled your team, you
Yep.
we're going to head to first.
Team.
Where do you want to talk to?
Go to talk to Mercedes because he's nearby.
Good call.
No, we're in the dungeon.
What's the
Malik would
dwarven
probably
thing?
be close.
Malik would be closest probably, then Marcades. But we don't.
Oh,
We can,
you're right,
Closer
yeah.
Because Moloch is going to be through this building and in through another building, technically.
Yeah.
I'm
honestly,
just hoping to
whatever.
see on
Wow.
the Malik.
Yeah,
You know, we'll see.
Alright. So heading to Mercedes, he's going to be like, friends, good to see you again, and alive. I was glad to hear when you returned home safely.
Yes. What was this cat saving? Because I've lost. Unfortunately, I can't find where I saved my notes, so I'm having to start them again. I've got the other notes I kept on my sheet, but I don't have notes for like the cat name.
I'm gonna go through some of the stuff here that like, because I'm gonna assume that between Tim and you guys returning back, he's gotten hold of certain things. I've been very effective at studying the Savage One's language, or at least the language that you brought forth to us using the information that you found in that old city. It seems as though I can learn their language. Tim has been doing great work at it himself also. Between the two of us, we should have their language completely deciphered very soon. At least their old language. The new one, Tinder Boots.
Thank you.
Tinder Boots would be like, meow.
Yeah, no, I would be
Okay.
doing scritches on Tinder Boots the entire time.
Yeah. There was like
Dorian would sit down with Tinder Boots as well because he's actually spent a little bit of time at Mercedes, especially with Tim. But he's actually like Tinder Boots likes Dorian, unlike Tim, where Tinder Boots hates Tim for good reason.
Yeah.
There's a cat in the room.
There's a cat. in the room.
Yeah, there is a very intelligent cat.
Yeah.
And there's a Dragonborn and a Tiefling between you two and the cat.
No, I'm not gonna do anything, but Klicky will be eyeballing it and licking his lips. Ooh, good food, you say.
Usoc would actually
No.
walk over and pick him up and stare face to face.
Nokren's just like watching, like doing that whole, when like someone picks up like a cat or a pet or something and you're not sure, you're just like ready to intervene.
Yeah. Dorian's in the same space, but he's much more casual about it.
Okay. You're not quite cat. Sets it down.
Hmm.
Right.
Scratch.
So we should have the language determined, and it seems the languages are very similar to the current one they use. We should be able to start to translate them at least. Spoken
Well, that's good news then.
will take a little longer, but at least if they would have, it does seem they have some kind of written material from some of the small items you brought with us, but I do not think they use it as much as they perhaps used to. But we'll be learning. I've gone over with Tim a lot of the old maps you brought. One of them, this unusual one with water and cliffs, we're unsure where this is. It seems unusual. We'll try to learn more about it. The valley one has been quite useful, though. We have determined with it where we think the Kalida have settled. If you go to your maps, which I can't show anybody, but I have pinged the zone where the Kalida have settled. That entire area there.
Oh, damn, okay.
Yes. That seems to be...
Oh, yeah, that is still across that one bridge.
Yep. Just
Oh, yeah, because I thought it was down here.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes. It's just beyond these two rocks here. So there's like these two like spaces here, kind of channels into this large area beyond there, and they're using that. It does appear that they originally, the city dwellers they descended from, came from our land in the distant past. Fascinating. I'm unsure how long they've actually been here, but this could link to our own history in a way. And we'll try to investigate it more.
Just a warning. It might be an unpleasant one. They looks over at Dorian, looks back. They did some questionable things to the other races.
From the sounds of the information Tim shared with me, it seems that they were a war race that once were conquerors, created an empire, most likely out of a large portion of the continent, and then perhaps fell. And that's why we don't know much about them. Old pasts, ancient empires that are long gone. There are plenty that our continent had history of.
It feels like they were on the brink of getting wiped out from what we saw, like we were. In warring races, rebelling, coming back to get revenge, then just when they're about to be defeated, bamf, they're here.
Yes. Well, we'll continue to look into them as best we can. Now, the mechanical man that you brought back is a wonderful invention. I find it fascinating that it also has gained some semblance of soul. Something that those that build constructs can hardly try to. Usually, when something of similar is created, the most minimum bits of personality and mind are put in there, enough to keep it alive to the degree it is, but not true life the way this creature is. It's fascinating.
Be glad. He was looking for a purpose, so it made it easy for us to like offer a purpose in defending us.
It has made me quite happy to encounter it. Let's see here. I should inform you that the Duke has begun the planned construction project. It was actually planned before the city traveled here to expand the castle for more refugees, and the project is already underway. Now, I worry that it is a dangerous thing to undertake, expansions to this place, especially this land. Perhaps you can do something to assist with it.
Okay.
Commander Moloch is set in charge of security there. I would talk to him and perhaps do some things to assist there. But I have an idea of some of the ways you might be able to assist with that if you would take an old man's, suggestions.
Okay, go on.
Well, it seems as though funding is needed. People need to be bribed, almost, in a way, to do some of the construction. They could probably use some more money. We only have so much we can do it. We're trying to keep the economy going and all. So some extra funding would help, assist. Now,
Okay.
the dwarves have some kind of plan. Now, I'm not sure what their plan is, but it might be able to help us in this case. And the third thing is, you've gained some experience with the creatures of this place, have you not?
For better and worse, yes.
If you should take a little bit of time before you leave on your adventure, maybe you could teach some of the folks about these creatures. A few days? The Duke probably won't mind if you take a few more days to prepare. You spend some of that time training troops to understand what the creatures here are. It would do a lot to help protect the security around the city.
I think that's a good idea. I believe I also brought back a claw of one of the ones that are down below. I don't know if we have to worry about them yet, but we may have to worry about them eventually, and they were very dangerous. They were far worse than the Calida.
We'll indeed keep an eye out, especially if it's a burrowing creature. Yes! Before I forget, the strange ruins you discovered deep underground.
Yeah.
The ones
Probably
below
what-
the dungeon. The rocks have been cleared out. Orn's crews finally finished it. I believe he was busy with the Duke and would have informed you himself, but
Okay, we have to be careful with that, considering we know what is below the ground now. We should probably make sure there's no entrances. Even so, I would highly recommend guards at the entrance to that. And if possible, that door would be set up in such a way that you can close it quickly.
we'll ensure of that. Now, I guess it is time for you to explore beyond the river at this point. Moloch, he has assembled the information about what the scouts that have traveled there have seen. And, I expect you to do just the same. Hopefully you can bring me some more information. And since the Calida seems to be over in that area, perhaps you can learn some things and bring back to us. I just say, beware of the one-eyed giants and the saber-fanged cats.
Oh, I think we saw one of those.
Yes. It seems though that those giants often keep those cats as pets.
Oh, good.
And as I don't know if we previously reported, it does seem that these giants have some kind of at least treaty, perhaps, with the Calida, with the savage ones. They seem to get along.
Interesting.
Some parties of them together have been seen. Other times, it's been noted that they have at least met peacefully.
Have they engaged in any combat with us together? Like, have the giants aided the Calida in any
They
combat?
don't seem to cross the river.
Okay, that's good at least, because if they would help out in the siege, that would be terrible.
I suspect since we see less of their adolescence across the river, perhaps this area that we were in was more training for the young. They would send them here to a safer location. And whatever deal they have kept them at bay from heading this way. But if this does come an all-out war, that might change. They might call upon their allies.
Okay. Good to know, at least. Might be able to see if we can figure out how this treaty works. And it's a
But be
long
careful,
shot.
though. The Paladin. They've been quieter than they've been for a while now. The Duke probably wouldn't say it, but the attacks have lessened. Maybe it's your efforts, maybe the boldness that you showed them has detracted them in a way. But at least they're not seeming like a critical threat. But I worry that there's more organization to them than we see just by looking at the troops that we see.
They were smart enough to set a trap for us coming back from our journey up the cliffside, and that was a split-off group. They weren't a bit part of the rest of them, so I imagine if they really wanted to, they could do some good tactical maneuvers.
You can learn more about their hierarchy. It might be able to help us. I can only hope that some of this will help you, though, as you continue your adventures. Tensions are growing in the town, and these past days have been nerves more and more. We'll persevere, though. And maybe we could talk to some of the townsfolk, too. I don't know what information they would have, but Moloch isn't the only one with information. Some have learned a few things by their journeys out, or heard some things from people. Anyway, please come visit me again. I'll do my best to assist you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Can we go?
Klicky
Visit Moloch,
raises
yeah.
his hand.
Oh,
Yes, small goblin.
Can I eat your cat?
The cat will kind of like hop down, wander over to you, go meow, and slash you across the face.
And he just rushes out the door.
Meow. He'll kind of like Tinderbooks will turn his head, kind of wander over into the books and stuff, find a place to lie down.
I like him.
okay then. Walk out the door.
I'm almost wondering how your little dragon reacted to Tinder Boots.
Oh yeah.
As far away from that cat as possible.
Especially after that there.
Uh-huh.
He's now climbed on top of Signe's head.
The cat will probably like, kind of like keep an eye out on the dragon, but meow.
I would say if there was an opportunity while they were walking where he was sitting up on your head, Nokren would do a little.
He'd bite your finger
Ooh.
and hiss at you.
Go back to leading. And yes, we'd probably go see Moloch next, I imagine.
So when you
he's
guys come to
nearby.
the hallway, you just see Klicky eating another rat. Just like he found one or just laying
Where
around.
do you keep getting those?
Oh, long arms, holes in walls. They're easy to get.
Oh, the dude
Okay,
should
well,
have as an exterminator.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
The cat.
You want some? And he holds out like half of it again.
Not even Usak.
He's focused on the little dragon. Thinking.
Okay.
So you'll head to see Moloch. Friends, it's good to see you again. Much has occurred since I last had a chance to speak to you.
You and I talked last week.
I meant Nokren more than you.
Well, then maybe you should say that.
But we haven't had a chance to speak either for a week, so...
Well, it's been a busy week.
Well, I've
You
never
wanna
told
know.
you.
He's gonna kind of ignore the goblin. Some of
So
you
how
have never
goes
talked.
things?
Yes. Well, we're doing our best. Defenses are remaining. We're keeping up the hopes of the common folk as best we can, while attempting to strengthen our numbers and our ability, but anyway. Let's enough of the idle chit-chat. Let's get down to business, because the Duke has sent you to me. So, first things first. A friend of yours came to visit me with a letter.
Oh.
I really would like you to take her away from me. She is quite annoying. Hi, guys! Where's everyone else? I got a letter!
I'm assuming this is Lily.
So this person actually is doing this? Like,
It's
oh,
a
Yes.
fairy.
It's
It's a
a
fairy
little
with a
fairy.
giant letter, and who seems kind of drunk.
oh,
Always
yeah. She has a letter! Yay!
I have a letter!
Oh, you two are gonna get along.
Wow! Tiny man! Lizard man! Other lizard man! You got cool new friends! But where's the really big dude? I miss him.
Well, he's still around. I think he's helping out with training now.
Oh! Anyway! I have a letter for you. Here you go.
For
For those of you who don't know, she's always drunk.
Oh, yeah. Open up the letter.
Well,
Pull it open.
yeah. You can check that once we finished here.
I'm going to start opening it, realize Moloch's still here. I'm like, all right, sorry.
I still kind of like hand off Lily to you also. Like just put her on your shoulder. It's like, you can have that. Thank you for getting rid of it. So that's not all, fortunately. So, you may have heard from the Duke that scouts have begun to travel across the bridge. There's a few brave men I've been able to ask to go travel across and see what they found. I've learned a few new things. So, it's very important that we have discovered that there are fortifications here and here on the map.
Oh.
They seem to block the way into the territory of the Kalida. Actual fortifications that block that entire passage.
That works. That's better. You do that one. Yep.
The giant allies of the Kalida seem to come from the south, from across here. That bridge, from what the scout that came and saw it says, it is heavily guarded. So it'd be difficult to traverse. It'd be difficult to go across and not get attacked either, I would doubt. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you've made contact with one of them peacefully, which unfortunately we have seemingly no sign of that as of yet. My scouts have also discovered that there are some caves in the walls. A few of them seem small, others seem to have deep passages. I'm not sure if they lead to anything, but the last cave you went to led up a mountainside or cliffside, so maybe one might be worth scouting out.
That's true. Whereabouts are these caves?
Seems like along the open walls in this area here. How's that sound?
I didn't see a ping. Sorry, I'm trying.
Straight across the bridge and like kind of like area like around.
Oh, over here?
Yeah, like around that area there.
Okay, cool.
Like around that cliff wall. So I don't have exact locations for you to check out, but you can check those out.
That's still
You
useful.
can explore for them. There are a few other directions I might be able to send you in. Why don't you come back a little later? I'm going to be compiling more information. That's as far as I know right now of where you can explore.
Okay. That works. I think we've got some other people we got to talk to, so.
I'll see if any of the scouts come back with anything new. If not, I apologize, but I might be able to pick up some more information before you go. See if anybody individuals. You could ask around yourself to a couple of the other scouts. They might have something that they haven't told me yet. That's the best I can say. Now, while we only seem to have the giant mantises to deal with, across there are the huge cats and other various vicious beasts. So be confident before you go and face them. It seems that some of the information you provided has helped us, though. My men are already doing much better in the wilds, so thank you very much. And
Good.
thank you for the guardian that has come. The mechanical creature. The construct. He's definitely helped us a lot.
He definitely is. It's a stroke of luck that we encountered him, and that he was looking for like a new job, essentially.
Well, good luck to you. And before you
Thank you.
leave, check back in one more time. I'll see what I can find.
Will do. Ooh, the letter.
All right. The letter says the following: Travelers, the Life Father requests your presence. Please come to the grove as soon as you can. We await you.
Okay, well, this is gonna be fun.
Tree boy.
Yes. I'm all meant getting to him is gonna be the fun part. I think we've got people good with magic. I'm more worried about the tracking part. Okay.
You should be.
Dwarven person. Yeah, Dwarven Thane. We have to go see him, I'm pretty sure.
And then we also need to go see the father.
Yep.
Not the life father, the other father.
The other father.
Before you go and see are you going to do Thane next?
What?
Thane or Father next?
Oh, I imagine Thane's closer by, isn't he? Or
Yes, probably. Probably from where you're at. Closer. Just by a little bit.
So, real quick, as we would all be leaving, you guys will see Red running laps with a bunch of trainees, and when one of them falls, whoever's in front picks them up and keeps running.
I was just going to Lily. Oh, there he is.
Hey, buddy!
Dorian is also gonna just wave at Red.
He's gonna like just wave, running, keep going, and eventually he's gonna have two people on his
Do you
arms.
want me to go with you to see the Life Father, or you want me to stay here? I can settle with Big Buddy. Why go with you? I think I'm supposed to go with you and escort you back in. But I
imagine
can't
that'll
say
be
for
better for us.
sure. Okay. Do you have anything
Cool.
to drink? I feel like I'm sobering up.
Actually, I do. Just, I pull out a dungeon wine because I have 4 wine bottles we got in that dungeon.
Yeah. She'll take like
Gonna-
a little thimble full of stuff and just like swing
Yep.
it down, you know.
Pour it.
Woo! You got some good stuff there. Let's rock and roll.
Off in the distance, Red, sir, when can we stop? When say stop.
Right, anyway, let's take our first break. I was gonna do
Yeah.
that when we're finished.
That works.
So we'll be back in a couple minutes. Drinks, snacks, bathroom, whatever you need, go take care of it. We'll be back and continue as they continue to check in with folks in town and kind of learn a little bit more information about what's going on. Figure out what their next big mission is. So see you in a few minutes, folks.